Tony Mod Chat.
I don't have my. Okay, I'm just gonna log in as Esports Canada.
Express yourself, release and go. Attack the flow and work it low. Express yourself, release and go. Attack the flow and work it low. Express yourself, release and go. Attack the flow and work it low. Express yourself, release and go. Attack the flow and work it low. You can mix it when you're clapping like a dog. Get you mix it when you're shaking like a dog.
Stand back, guys. I got this.
Time to flip the coin. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another fantastic episode of Esports Canada TV. It is Monday, it is episode 9, and we have a very special guest this evening. But first, I'd like to introduce the mainstays, the hosts of our show. Out of the top left corner, spawning as the Protoss, we have the teacher, the professor, ESC.Jovian. Frank, how you doing tonight?
I'm well, thanks. How are you doing, Johnny?
I'm doing fantastic. I feel extra energized that Nick's not here tonight. And I don't know if Frank can see it on the stream, but check it out on the stream what I did for Nick and his picture. I am your host at Quinn of the Net on Twitter, John Quinn, BSG.Toaster. We have a special guest tonight, and his name is Ken Silva. Ken Silva is the president of Esports Canada, but his bigger, badder, newer title is the commissioner of NASL as of about midway through last week. So, Ken, you are our guest tonight. You have the floor. Ken, how are you doing tonight?
I'm fantastic. Happy to be here. It's been a while since I talked to you guys, so it's always good to see your beautiful faces.
Oh, stop that. You're just sucking up so we don't get to the hard stuff. Ken, there is one question on everyone's mind, and I have to start off by asking you this very difficult question. What was going through your mind when you let Frank, Nick, and I host a show every week using the Esports Canada name?
Well, I mean, it wasn't a hard decision. You guys are very awesome, and you're also very professional. So I figured you guys would do great things.
I'm not sure what show you've been watching, but it doesn't sound like this one.
This is more, Ken.
So
As long
after...
as Nick's not here, you guys do fine.
Oh, wow. Direct from the president. So after the blunder of giving us the show, is that why you had to go off to the States with your tail between your legs to America and hide?
No, I actually came here for the fast food.
Ah. Well, what's big out in California? Is it Five Guys, or is it, what's the other one?
Actually, the best burger I think I've probably ever had was at a place called In-N-Out.
Yeah, okay,
down
In-N-Out,
here.
that's the one.
And it was fantastic. And I was driving by In-N-Out the other day, and you guys seen those crazy Tim Hortons like drive-through lines that we have up in Canada, right? It's like that for a burger place, like 5 o'clock every day.
Amazing. Ken, I guess we'll start off the kind of interview process with maybe kind of the history of Esports Canada, how you got involved, how it started, when, where, and why.
I always like telling this story because it's kind of awesome just to go back and remember what it was like to basically start hosting just, community gatherings and then realizing like, oh my gosh, a lot of people want to see this stuff happen more and more. If you guys know, anybody watching knows a guy named Chromate. he had a big part to play in it. I remember me, him, and another guy named Dewey just sitting down, coming up with a bunch of events, and then saying, you know what, in order to be taken seriously, we're going to have to be legitimate about this and basically run it like a company, get sponsorship, etc. So we realized that, you know, the more and more people coming out, the more of an obligation we had to do bigger and better things. And from those meetings came Esports Canada and all the awesome people that help out across the country.
Awesome. So what was kind of the first big event for Esports Canada?
The biggest event we had in our early days was Quest for the Best, and that's the one where we had that Bruce Lee versus Chuck Norris graphic with the Quest for the Best. We basically packed the venue of 250 people, and at one point in the night, the bar owner came to me and he said, you know, we're over capacity and it's getting really crammed in here. And I was thinking, oh boy, we're gonna be shut down or something like that. And he just looked at me with a straight face and he's like, I can't believe so many people came out to see this. And he's like, it's okay, don't worry about it. He's like, this is one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. So I mean, we lucked out that it was just a really awesome venue owner, and I think a lot of people who came out for that had a great time. We basically did a tournament where we had 200 plus people compete online, and then the top 16, I believe it was, came out, or top 8, sorry, came out to the venue, and basically Estoji won that one, and then shortly after that he went out to compete in the Blizzard tournament. But we had a lot of people, and I remember we also stuck around after the tournament to watch the GSL tournament afterwards, and that was probably one of the funnest car crafts I remember.
So, Ken, obviously modest beginnings to start, but how much has Esports Canada grown to this point? Like, coast to coast, how many people do we have in our organization, approximately?
We have a few people who basically prefer to help out with live events, but we have I believe it's 64 or 65 people who basically are willing to do anything and everything to help the organization from coast to coast.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think as it stands right now, we don't have members in Newfoundland or Saskatchewan are the only places.
Yeah, I was actually speaking with a guy from Newfoundland who was basically looking for some help and some advice on getting something going up there, but I haven't touched base with him in about a week or so, so I'll figure out what the situation up there. But if you're from Newfoundland and you want to see more esports, shoot an email to info@esportscanada.org.
Do it, Newfies. Ken,
Good job, John. That'll work.
That'll work. Hey, I'm half Newfie, so I can say it. I'm bringing it back. Ken, you recently took a trip to Korea on behalf of Esports Canada. Can you maybe tell us a little more about that, what you were doing there, and what were the outcomes from your visit?
I went down there for a conference of sorts for esports. There's an organization out there that basically brought out a bunch of people from all across the world, threw around a bunch of interesting ideas, and basically wanted everybody who came out to see what esports was about in Korea. It was very interesting.
So, I mean, you went there. How long were you in Korea for?
I was there for 1 full week, and it was a long flight. So if you take away the flight times, it works out to about 4.5 days.
So half your time was just spent in the air on the entire trip. That sounds promising.
Oh yeah, I'll get that flight.
Frank?
So, Ken, what was the purpose of the trip? I know that you went to talk with an organization down there, but why did you go down there?
Basically, we were contacted because the iESF was looking for a organization in Canada to apply for membership. So I had to go down there and basically present all the reasons why Esports Canada should be a member to basically a council of, I think, 30 plus member nations. So it took a lot of preparation and making sure that, everything that we needed to tell them about how organizations run in Canada, how we operate in accordance with all the laws in Canada, how we basically plan to keep our financial ship afloat, our numbers of members, what membership entails, volunteers, past events, basically everything. So put it all together in a PowerPoint and showed up one morning in a suit and presented the whole thing and, had to go through the whole question process. And after that, they had a vote and we walked out of there with membership. So
that's awesome. Well. And what does that mean for like Canadian gamers and esports enthusiasts? What does that mean for us? Basically, it means that we are going to be sending the best players we can find for various titles that we end up deciding to wherever the global finals are, and we're going to give those players who think they have the skill and the players that practice very hard. We're going to make sure that they can compete at an international level with competitors from other countries that hopefully are at an equal or lesser skill level. Because Canadians have the best gamers, right?
Yeah.
So WCG recently held an event here in Toronto, World Cyber Games, and they do this thing. They kind of call themselves the Olympics of gaming, where they find some Canadian representatives and then they compete internationally with other countries' representatives in a certain game. How is our connection with iESF different, or is it essentially the same idea?
Essentially, it's the same idea, but it's really not a big problem. I think the more, the merrier. I don't see any problem with giving players opportunities to basically get themselves some exposure, get recognition, and make contacts along the way. If someone goes out to WCG and meets a player that they become practice partners with, and they meet somebody at iESF, heck, they're just going to help improve their game. So, in my opinion, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I guess having more tournaments here is always good as well.
Yeah, and the way I understand it too is, when WCG holds their qualifiers and everything, those tournaments are run by WCG, right? Whereas for iESF, it's kind of up to the country and whichever organization is in power there to run their own tournament and narrow it down to one person to send to the iESF tournament, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. The tournaments would be run by the individual countries, and obviously there's going to be some guidelines for some conformity just to make sure that, they're all competing within the same rules and basically same format.
Okay.
So for the iESF, are they looking just for StarCraft 2? Is there potential for other games, or are we're working on SC2 right now?
The titles for the last one was a game called Ava Online. It's a first-person shooter. Tekken Tag Team, and StarCraft 2. And I actually had a chance to go down there and watch the tournament. It was really interesting. It was in a city called Shonen, and it was beautiful. This arrangement, it was an outdoor tournament. They had tents set up. It was combined with sort of a dance festival, so they had, a lot of energy in the area.
Great.
Ken, I have a picture here from GSL that you took. Can you tell us a bit about your GSL experience and how was that?
Yeah, actually, I went down to Korea. I landed in Incheon and then drove through Seoul. Or I didn't drive. They had a bus pick us up, me and a few other guys that arrived at the airport at the same time. And let me just talk a bit about that bus, because that was the most interesting bus I've ever been on in my life.
I've heard you talk about this bus before.
I got on the bus, and the only thing that wasn't padded was the windows, and it was like a red leather padded thing. It kind of looked like what I imagined an insane asylum would look like. But later on, I found out it was like a bus that picks up K-pop artists, and it had like castles hanging from the windows and disco lights and a big LED screen at the front. So it was really cool getting on that bus, kind of like my introduction to being into Korea, because it was just something that just you wouldn't see every day. And of course, I'm on the bus for 5 minutes, and they're playing K-pop videos, and what else comes on other than the Gangnam Style. So it was really fun. Then from there, we went down to Chonin, and Chonin is really far from Seoul and Mokdong, where the GSL studios are. So basically, one day I built up the courage to hail a cab, go to the bus terminal, and from there go to the train station, and then take the train station all the way to, I forget the name of the city, Yeongbung. And from there I took the subway to Mokdong. And then when I arrived at the GSL studio completely exhausted, it was like, wow, I walked in, and it was one of those eerie feelings, where it's like, wow, I watch this all the time. And, you go in there, and it was an awesome night because I believe it was Kasia Lena and MVP versus, gosh, I can't remember who he eliminated that night, but
Who, Rain?
Just awesome.
No, you weren't there for
No,
that night. Symbol.
No, I don't think so. Symbol, that's who it was.
Yeah.
So it was a really, really fun time. And Tasteless and Narcosis were just awesome. They're friendly with everybody, signing autographs. Gone Girl was super cool. They didn't have any more headsets for the English people. And I went up there and I bought a T-shirt, and I gave a $10 tip, and she tried to give it back to me. And I was like, no, you got to take it. I love what you're doing here. It's really no problem. And then she went in the back and she got me a headset. She's like, here you go. I'm like, thanks a lot. So it was really
Nice.
cool. Later on, I found out it's very rude to tip, but I didn't know at that point.
She felt like she had to give you something at that point. I also have a picture here of you and MVP, which I'm very jealous of. Was that after or before he won?
Yeah, that was after he won.
Okay.
A totally awesome guy. I was basically just standing around at the back, and he finished his game, and he came by and he was waiting to do his interview. And my Korean was okay, so I said hi to him in Korea. He kind of heard Korean and he laughed sort of, and like, mind if I take a picture? He's like, yeah, sure. And then at that point, somebody came and grabbed him, like, it's time for the interview, and they kind of dragged him away. So I was like, oh, well, it sucks. I really wanted to show that picture to my brother because MVP, he's a big MVP fan, so I wanted to basically tease him with that.
Nice.
And then I was out basically talking with some other guys. I think they were from New Zealand, maybe. Really cool guys. And then MVP came and he tapped me on the shoulder and he's like, hey, picture. I was like, oh, yeah, definitely. And I was thinking, like, MVP is a totally awesome guy to basically, have the opportunity to go for an interview and then be like, oh, yeah, this guy asked me for a picture, and, like, just come tap me on the shoulder. So it was really cool.
This weird bald dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. I was watching the VODs of that episode, and I knew you were there, and EsportsCanadaTV mentioned something about Canadians being there and how they got some shirts from Esports Canada, but you didn't make it on the stream in person, but they talked about you, so you definitely made an impression.
I didn't even know about that. I was probably going and buying my Gone TV shirt at that point.
So, I guess we covered Korea, we covered ESC. There's only one thing left to talk about, and that is your new position as the commissioner of NASL. Congratulations, first off. It's a pretty big deal. You're now with one of the big boys.
Yeah, it was truly a great experience, and it's an honoring position to have. Certainly, I'm going to be committed to working very hard, and the folks in the NASL office are just truly awesome, nice people, very welcoming, very professional, and I'm excited to be a part of all that.
So Ken, maybe this is a good time to ask then, how do you plan to balance both your roles in NASL and the president of Esports Canada?
Basically to make esports my life and worry about that. I left my family and girlfriend in Canada, so I think my mom's actually watching right now. I know I seem like a total nerd, but
Hi,
you
Mrs.
know,
Silva.
yeah, I basically came down here. I don't really know too many people aside from the awesome people that I work with. So I think it's going to give me a real opportunity to just work most of the time to pass the time. But there's also a lot of awesome things on here. Like I'm looking out my window right now at this big mountain that I just wait to snowboard on, and I hear there's some awesome beaches about an hour away, and also someone over at the office was telling me that you can go dune bugging in the desert, which is also another hour away. So
Wow.
pretty cool.
Well, it snows a lot here, so we got that going for us.
Yeah, I had snow up there yet. It was getting pretty cold when I left.
No, it hasn't snowed yet. Not till after Halloween, at least. I've just jinxed it. There's going to be 30 feet of snow tonight. So yeah, with NASL, I mean, you're the commissioner, and I know you're just starting out. But what are your kind of day-to-day duties so far? I know you're probably still learning the ropes, but can you speak a bit about that?
Yeah, I'm still working with someone, so it's nice. I always like the opportunity of shadowing with somebody because that way it's a smoother transition. So everything's going perfectly in that sense. Basically, making sure that matches are going okay, players showing up on time. There's a few other things that still I'm being introduced to, but for the most part, I'm just very happy to be given the opportunity to do these things.
Cool. And how are the NASL studios? Are they everything you dreamed of?
That and more. I mean, I walked in and I was blown away. Like I wasn't really sure what to expect, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And I learned a lot when I walked in there, and it's just like, wow, you're like, this is what a professional studio looks like. So they're doing everything right, in my opinion. It's really something that it's hard to explain. You just got to see it and just be like, wow, a lot of equipment, set up. It's just like beautiful, and a lot of the guys there are awesome. So if they're watching, big shout out to them as well.
I was actually watching some NASL Season 4 action, and I noticed that they initiated this betting system where you get points and stuff.
Yeah,
Do
for
you get to
subscribers.
participate in that, Ken?
Sorry?
Do you get to participate in that at all?
Yeah, I was watching the stream the other night while I was firing off some emails, and I was betting just for fun, and I love it. I really do. It's so much funner. Like, if anyone was watching the other night and they saw the Lowly versus Hero match, that
Bet
was
Lowly.
totally.
Bet Lowly.
That was so epic. Like, I really, really wish that I saw that I bet on Hero, and then when Lowly won, I would just like threw my hands up. I was just like, I should have bet on him. and then Prodan started that hashtag bet on Lowly, and that was just trending within seconds because I think everybody loved to see that. It was an awesome match. So if you're watching, don't miss out on any more of those exciting matches because it was so much fun.
Awesome.
Definitely.
So, I mean, is there any sort of, I know you're new and you don't want to risk your job, but is there any sort of inside dirt you can give us on things to expect from NASL in the future?
Sorry?
I said I don't want you to risk your job as the new guy there, but is there any sort of dirt you can give us on what to expect from NASL in the future?
I mean, really, there's some big things coming, so always, tune in, don't miss out on anything. Last night we were giving away a Heart of the Swarm beta key, and that was something that a lot of people really wanted. So I mean, always something new coming down the pipeline. A lot of good matches coming up. I've been looking at some of those and being like, I don't want to miss that. So make sure you tune in and enjoy.
You can message me after in the chat of where the finals are going to be, because I have I have a very good suspicion that it's going to be in Canada, and I'm just like sitting on the Air Canada website 24/7, just like hovering over book now for flights, just like wondering where it's going to be. So you can just message me that in the chat, and it'll be our secret.
I can't say, but yeah, we got some really cool stuff being worked on, so I'm sure there'll be something coming out on that pretty soon.
Wherever it is, I will see you there, most definitely.
Awesome.
Ken, we only have one sort of section left planned, and that is the lightning round, which are 10 lightning fast questions that you have to answer as quick as possible. We'll get to that in a bit. Is there anything else you wanted to maybe speak about, talk about? Oh, I did them, Frank. Some of us actually worked before the show.
Wow. First for this show.
Yeah, Ken, any like shout-outs you want to give? Anything you want to say?
No, just want to give you guys a shout out and everybody else there that's working hard. I know we just did WCG in Toronto, and a lot of the volunteers were out there and saw some of the messages they were putting up, and getting up early, and we're becoming accustomed to those things now. And if anybody's watching from out in Vancouver, I know you guys are basically running the WCG thing next out there. So yeah, do a good job, and I'll be watching those things for sure.
Fantastic. So Ken,
give a shout out to your mom, and she's watching.
Yeah, well, actually, I was in a Skype call with somebody else at the moment my mom called, and I was just like, I'm really sorry, Mom. I'm not going to have time to talk, but if you want to see me tonight, you can go here and shot her the link. And then she sent me a message, saying I'm watching. It's like, oh, yeah.
Well, have I got some dirt on Ken from Mrs. Silva? Did you know that your son... No, I got nothing. You've always been great. So, Ken, it is time for the lightning round. If I had effects, I would play them now, but I do not. It is 10 lightning fast questions. You have to answer them as quickly and as honestly as possible. Kenneth R. Silva, are you ready?
No problem.
Question 1. Tim Hortons or Starbucks?
Kenny, sure.
Bald or luscious locks?
Bald.
Obama or Romney?
Ooh. I would say Obama. Obama for sure.
Correct. Greatest gaming moment for you personally?
Greatest, sorry, I got a
gaming moment.
Like I got to think again.
Greatest, stop stalling, Ken. Answer the damn question. Greatest gaming moment?
There's one moment in particular I remember when I was playing a StarCraft game, and it was one of those games where you're clearly ahead and somebody should have GG'd, and basically he lifted off his base and went to all the corners of the map and ended up swearing at me and chatting at me, and I was trying to be mannered, saying, you'll get better, yada, yada, yada. And then, for whatever reason, my cell phone rang, and at this point, there's no rush. So I answered my phone, I put my phone down, and I hit F10 to resume, or F10 to resume the game, and I ended up quitting, and that guy got the win. And I was like, oh my gosh, now this guy is going to basically refuse to quit every game because there's a chance that the person will end up quitting. So he got my ladder points after all that, after the end.
That was the slowest lightning I've ever seen. If I wasn't in esports, I would be...
I would probably still be pursuing my career as an asset manager, so I'm really happy that esports.
I hope your old company isn't watching. Number 6, Russell Pfister, good boss or greatest boss?
Greatest boss.
You're a sucker, -1. Canadian or Californian girls?
Canadian. Well, actually, I haven't been here long enough.
You're pandering. 8.
Ask me again sometime.
Handsomest male at NASL?
Sorry?
Can he pick himself, John?
No. I said handsomest male at NASL, not yourself.
I don't know. I really don't. You have to ask again.
I want honesty
Cop
here,
out.
Ken. Cop out. Cop out. It's obviously clutch. Next one. Nickname you hope sticks that the NASL crew gives you.
Me? I already got called Caldor once. That was pretty funny. So, hopefully there's some more names in there, like Mr. Clean or, what's the guy's name from Die Hard? That would be pretty awesome. McClane, John McClane.
I hope Caldor sticks. That's hilarious. And the final question, the hardest one. Actually, it's pretty easy. Your favorite Esports Canada member?
Oh, whoa.
Whoa.
You know Tony's in this chat, right? So.
He should have said Nick's song just to stick it to both of us.
Oh, that would have been good. But now he's just stalling.
Nick was my number one, but he's busy working and doing stuff for his job right now. So gotta show
Doesn't
up.
have passion. No passion for esports.
Yeah, and Tristan's watching. You are total bots there. Total bot.
Tristan's pretty good, I guess. Tristan's our vice president, for anyone wondering. Ken, you scored an abysmal 3 out of 10. You got the one on Presidents and Tim Hortons, and that's about it, really. I guess two, if that. That's a poor showing.
Yeah.
That's really bad. Clutch had 8.
Okay, we get the next one. Next
Rise
lightning
had
round.
7.
Open book.
Hang your head in shame, sir.
What makes you think we'll have you on again, Ken?
Yeah.
After a lightning round like that.
Call us when you
You
come
step
back
up
to
the game.
Canada. All right, guys. Ken, any last words before you send you off into the night?
Yeah. I know there's been a lot of stuff going on in the community these days. One of the best things I think I can say right now is that everybody should be positive. Even if there are some negative things, you gotta look at the positive side and work from there. So I really hope that there's a shift in the near future, and there's a lot of good things coming down the pipeline. So stay tuned.
I will.
Ken, are you still going to propose on stream like you said you were going to?
Wow. See, Frank.
Frank, will you marry me?
Oh, I'm a married man, but
After Ken leaves the call,
You're
I'll
breaking
explain
my heart.
that joke to everyone. I was writing that. I was writing the lightning questions. I was like, no way I can ask about that. I was like, that'd be way too mean. And then Frank just blows it with like 10 seconds left.
I love President under the bus. It's what I do. It's how I got to the position I'm in today.
Guys, you can watch NASL. They stream Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Is that true? Or Tuesday to Friday? What's the streaming schedule for
It
NASL?
starts Wednesday and go till Sunday, and
Wednesday
there's a
through
lot
Sunday,
of
okay.
great matches. Like I'm not even kidding right now. There's a lot of good stuff coming in. Season's winding down, so we're getting ready to start the playoffs, and things are only going to get better from here. So
Yeah,
make sure you're watching.
Week 6 is starting now, is it not?
No, we're going into week 7 now.
Week 7,
week
okay.
6,
Week 6 just finished.
I need now.
I need to brush up on my NASL knowledge. Everyone, you can follow the new commissioner of NASL at Ken R. Silva on Twitter, and of course tune in to NASL pretty much every night of the week, NASL.TV. Thank you, Ken. It has been a pleasure. We're going to take a super quick break, but we'll be right back with coverage of Frank. What do you want to talk about? Hots changes?
I have lots of hot changes we could talk about.
No hots. I
Actually,
deleted that
lots of
document.
Oh man, you jerks.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for having me.
No problem. Thank you,
Thank
Ken.
you, Ken.
We'll be right back,
Good luck
guys.
with everything.
Yourself, release and go, attack the flow and work it low. Express yourself, release and go, attack the flow and work it low. You can mix it when you're clapping like a dog dog. You can mix it when you're shaking like a dog dog. Then they wish they was. They be hating on my name.
welcome back, everyone. We had to send Ken off. I'm sure he's plenty busy with an ASL, and now I got to fix the stupid overlays. There's got to be a better way to do this. I hate my life.
It was super nice of Ken to come on. I know he's got a super busy schedule, so but man, what a boss! Even when he was the president here in Toronto, working 2 jobs, and the president of Esports Canada, and even now still looking out for Esports Canada, even though he's all the way in California. Good guy, Ken Silva.
GG Ken.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're about to pop back. Here it comes. There you are, Frank.
We should also thank Tony Tran, who's always in the wings, but he's the one. He's always typing in chat, saving our bacon when we can't remember like a player's name and stuff.
Yeah.
Tony's like a fountain of knowledge. It's unreal how much he knows.
Tony's an encyclopedia. Thank you, Tony. You're a gem. Don't ever change. Franco, how was your weekend, bud?
Oh, it was actually amazing. We had, I guess I'll just jump right into my weekend unless you actually want to talk about yours.
Well, mine's probably better, so make it quick.
Yours was better. Mine was WCG, man. World Cyber Games held their Central National Finals here in the Eaton Center at the mall, the Eaton Center in Toronto, and it was really cool. It was a neat venue because it was actually funny. There was 2 moments that stand out. There was one where there was this lady who walked in to see what all the crowd was for, and I was standing beside Nick and Mario and stuff, and this lady was looking at the screen, and it looked like she had the most disgust in her face I've ever seen. And I was like, why did you walk in here if she just wants to look at us and think, like, who are these people? What are they doing to my mall? And then there was another time where there's this tall white guy who came in with a girl. She looked like she was from Korea. She even had, like, the little bunny hat. I don't know. She was decked out in, like, Korean garb. And she was explaining to him what StarCraft was. She was like, this is StarCraft, this is what you do, you have to collect resources. She was explaining the game. It was actually pretty hilarious. So, but it was a really awesome event, and Esports Canada got to help out. So really
Nice.
fortunate, really happy to be a part of that.
No, I talked to all the volunteers, and I watched a fair bit of it. I watched the finals pretty closely between Hendra and Combat X, just to see on the off chance that Combat X won, because I was very afraid that was going to happen.
Well, it was close, right? It was 3-2.
Oh, it was
final,
definitely
right?
close, yeah. Yeah.
How are the games themselves, though? I was at my friend's son's
They weren't-
baptism, so I had to miss.
They weren't anything crazy. Actually, I think it was game 1, I want to say. Combat X went for like an Immortal all-in, and he had 16 Centuries and then like 6 Immortals, and then maybe a couple Zealots, couple Stalkers. And he came in, it was on Daybreak, and he came in from the top of the map by the 3rd, and he took out the 3rd, and Hendra just like pulled everything back, finished drop tech for Zerg at the very last second, built like 25 Banelings, zipped them all up into the Overlords, and just floated over onto the Sentries and just did huge Baneling drops. And it all happened within like 15 seconds. Like, no one even knew that he got drop tech. Like, it was never mentioned, like, oh, he's researching, Overlord speed or anything. And then all of a sudden it was just like, oh my god, he has drop tech. And then just like completely disintegrated his army and won the first game. So that was really, really awesome. And that got me pretty hyped for the rest of them. The rest of them were pretty kind of cheesy early game wins and losses. But you can watch all the VODs on twitch.tv/WCG Canada. And I suggest at least watching that one series. I didn't get to see too much of the other ones. I watched Mario play Combat X. Mario is one of our guys. And
Mario was really nervous. That was
yeah.
I guess that might be one of the bigger names you have to play. And Combat X is kind of known for some BM from time to time, so kind of hard to play against.
And Ender Sword as well, another one of our guys, was there helping out, and he played in the tournament. I think he got beat out in the first round, though.
Yeah, he got ousted by Solo Mid, who ended up making all the way to the semifinals to face Hendralisk. And I think Solo Mid's just a high master.
You mean Solo Turtle?
Solo Turtle, you're right. Sorry, I was thinking LOL for some reason. Yeah, Solo Turtle. And he actually took out Killing Spree Hype as well, which was totally unexpected. People were really thinking it was going to be Hype and Hendralisk in the semifinals, so that was quite amazing. So John feels not too bad for at least not John. Dave feels pretty good that at least the guy who beat him did go on to beat or face the eventual winner. So something to hang his hat on.
Yeah, and he still got to be there and kind of help out with the event and admin some other games, and have fun. I don't think he went into it thinking he was going to win a trip to China. No offense, Dave. I know you're in the chat. Please don't.
Dave and I had a little match. He coached me to a victory, and like he's a stand-up guy, that Dave. But also, I faced him. I made him off race. I made him pick Zerg because that's my strongest matchup, and he just obliterated me. Like, it wasn't even close. I was like, yeah, I think my build might be able to handle this, and it was like so one-sided. He was just chasing me around the map.
See, Dave told me that he started out by playing random for his first like 1,000 games, so he definitely knows a thing or two about Zerg.
He probably doesn't have so much of an off race, but anyways, I thought I'll make him pick the race that I'm strongest in.
Yeah, so that was WCG weekend. It's coming up again in Vancouver. Not this weekend, but next, correct?
No, it should be this weekend. It's October 26th through the 28th.
Oh, okay, I thought it was first week in November. My bad.
Yeah, it's in Burnaby, BC. Is that just outside of Vancouver, or is that part of Vancouver?
It's like part of. It's the same as like Mississauga to Toronto or Markham or.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, just that metropolis metro.
I haven't been there
town
in like 2 years, but and then the Eastern National Finals in Montreal, November 2nd to 4th, on Catherine Street or St. Catherine Street. So, 2 weekends in a row, WCG Canada representing. I'm not sure if we have a player list or anything available quite yet for those, but I'm sure we'll see some fairly big names. I know there's a pretty good group of guys out in BC that are near top level, and as well, Quebec always represents. So.
Yeah, and the way they structured it here in Toronto is the first day, the Friday, it was just an open tournament, so literally anybody could show up and play and try, and that's how guys like Solo Turtle came in, and other guys like Warlord and Queasy, like all those guys who you may not recognize in the pool. They were just guys who showed up at the mall and tried their hand and actually got into the bracket stage. So they're probably going to do something like that again in Vancouver, but I'm not sure. Are they doing an online qualifier first, just like they did for the Toronto one? No?
I have no idea, actually. I think they already had it, and it was the same time as the Ontario one. It was like the same weekend or week, and now this is the live in-person one. That's so cool that they had it at the mall, and like anyone could just show up and kind of play. That just like harks back at, like, I don't know if you've ever seen King of Kong.
No.
The documentary where the guy tries to become the best at Donkey Kong in the world.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. So anyway, but it was just all about, like, you know, showing up with these random arcades and just like going for world records and things. It's just cool that you can go down to the mall and be like, I'm going to win a trip to China today. So that's really cool. It's not like going to one big, you know, gaming event. It's just going down to your local mall. And BSG.Toaster is an amazing movie, and it actually is a quite good movie if you have a chance to watch King of Kong, one of the classic gaming documentaries.
And about the mall thing, it was pretty cool. There was actually this one point where Combat, I forget who he was playing. Combat X was playing someone, it might have been against Warlord, and somebody recognized him, ran up with his camera. He's like, "Yo, it's Combat X!" And Combat, in mid-game, just stopped, looked over and smiled and posed for the camera, and then went right back to what he was doing.
Right back to cheesing with 8 cannons and the guy's natural.
Yeah, you should watch some of his VODs. He did some stuff where pylons and stuff. But you know, he did well though. He had a strong showing. Like he played very strong. When he played against Believe and 3-0'd him, it looked he looked really strong the whole way through. Yeah.
Word. I have to talk about it because it was just like the epitome of esports. Friday nights, GSL finals, Life versus MVP. I stayed up until 6:30 a.m. my time just to watch it, and it did not disappoint. The last finals, of course, MC versus Seed was a bit disappointing, which kind of sucked too because it was a summer one and it was on the beach and they had the huge stage and everything, and it was like a 4-1 PvP where every match was like 8 minutes long. But every match here totally delivered, and there was like one early GG, but it was totally worth staying up and then sleeping in the next day till 2:30. If you have the chance, please go watch those VODs because it was so epic. Did you watch it, Frank?
Do that. I didn't get to watch it, no. So I've
Leave the
just
call.
been like
Leave the
working with
call.
BCG stuff, and it's just no time. No time. I'll try to catch up on some, especially the good ones. If you link me to the best ones, I will watch them.
Yeah,
to
matches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 were all amazing.
What are the chances that I can remember all those numbers?
1 through 7 is what I just named, dummy.
Then why did you say it differently than 1 through 7? Did you
Because
say
I was
1,
making a
2,
joke
3?
saying that you should watch them all. My God. Moving on, guys.
Why? Wait. Why is your microphone a little messed up this week? It's chopping on my end for some reason.
Is it chopping? You're
Anybody
chopping
else?
a bit to me. How's that?
Maybe it's on my
Technical
end. I don't know.
difficulties. OSL finals are coming up. Rain versus DRG. I don't know the exact date on that. You can find it out on Team Liquid as well. The third place
Your
match
money
between Rain. Rain's just like unstoppable right now. I know he lost MVP, but MVP's MVP, and DRG is good, but I think Rain's just on a high right now, and he's gonna take it. But the third place match
Sure,
with
man.
MC and Last was so good. It was just Last dummying MC like 3 games in a row. It was 3-0, best of 7. And then MC out of nowhere just like got super aggressive, was just like 8 gating all over the place, and just destroyed him in 7 games and won third place for OSL.
Wow.
Yep. So watch those VODs as well. I just got a message from Richard Jandris, who is our local LAN expert. Baseland is coming up November 9th through 11th in Winnipeg, Manitoba. There's already 120 people pre-registered, so you definitely want to join in on that fun. If you go to All Your Base Online, then you can find registration for Baseland 24. What else here? Prepay's $35 if you do it before November 1st. $40 at the door. And that's all for PC play. If you're doing console only, it's $20 at the door. And I don't immediately see a list of games they're playing, but I'm sure it's every game and then some. Wow, their sponsor list is like 50 long. So go there and you're going to get a lot of new gear. I might fly out to Winnipeg just to get myself a new computer on November 9th.
Should we promote Untouchables?
Yeah, you can cover that.
Is it time for that?
Yes, it's time for that.
You want me to talk about it?
Go
Yeah.
for it.
All right, Untouchables. We've talked about this before, guys. The Untouchables out west Toronto, like in Etobicoke, they're venturing into more esports stuff, and they had a LoL tournament a while ago, and it was pretty great. Now they want to try StarCraft. A couple of the guys who went to the WCG and competed there, actually, I was telling them about it, and they're like, yeah, we're already signed up. Like, so people do know about this, and if you don't, you should definitely go to Untouchables. I don't know if... you should be able to find it if you go to our website, EsportsCanada.ca. Go to the calendar, look up all the events. Yeah, and you should be able to find links to it, but otherwise on Facebook, you can just type Untouchables StarCraft Cup 1. It's on October 27th. It's $10 entry, and I think they're hoping to get 40 people to sign up so that they can have, like, first prize be $100, second prize $60. So you can win some pretty substantial change. Go there, try out your hand in StarCraft, or just go and watch some games and support some local gamers. So it's pretty exciting. I plan on going. I plan to bring a friend of mine, even though he doesn't really like to go out too much. I'm going to, like... I don't know if you've seen that picture of Wisp when he's abducting Sven out of his house, and he's like, it's ganking time. You just started playing Dota. Do you know what Wisp does?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right, Wisp has an ability where, I don't know, it tethers you, it connects a link, and then it can teleport anywhere on the map. And especially, I can't use Wisp very well because I'm just not that good. But I'll sometimes bring someone to the wrong area. But anyways, the idea here is that Wisp will sometimes carry you to a ganking situation, or a situation where you're like jumping another player, and you didn't ask for it. He just showed up, grabbed you, and pulled you into another part of the map. So it's a picture of Juggy, and he's on the ground, and it looks like he's like, no, don't do it. And he's getting tethered, and it's like, it's ganking time. So I'm gonna go do that to my friend and be like, it's StarCraft time. No. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna pull you and bring you.
I did
So
start
that's what I
playing
plan to
Dota
do.
2, and it's Richard says you're bad at Dota explanations. Screw you, Richard. Screw you.
Who are you playing? You're not playing Sniper. Who's playing Sniper?
No.
Who are you playing again?
I played Dragon Knight.
Night Game.
I played Weaver. Is that his name?
Weaver? Yeah, he's good but weak. Did you die a lot?
Yeah, I always die a lot. Oh god, I'm bad at MOBAs.
Yeah.
So bad.
Well, he's a paper hero. Even though he's got skills that make him like live easily and escape, he's difficult to use for new players.
Yeah, I'm pretty new.
Frank's
Super
analysis.
green. Who else did I?
Like-
Omega? Is that a guy? I don't even know. He's like some sort of changeling. Is that a guy?
Chain guide. He throws his.
No, changeling. Morph. Not the morphling. Not the morphling.
Yeah.
Not the morphling. Yeah, it was some guy. I don't know. There's like 80 characters.
Yeah, there's a lot. Sorry, bro. It'll take a
It's
while.
all good. We'll play later. You can learn me. Learn me good.
Sure. Yeah. Dude.
Frank, we got about 8 minutes left. What do you want to talk about? I have something, but do you have anything?
Let's talk about HOTS. We got all the stuff here.
Let's talk about HOTS in a different way. Last week was kind of a sad week for StarCraft in that kind of all this news came out. Slayer's disbanding, Coca, Min, and the third guy, Tony's going to come up with it in a second, all leaving for League of Legends. And it was just kind of this dark and gloomy 48 hours where all this news is coming out and people were tweeting save HOTS, and Destiny made the huge post saying StarCraft wasn't going to be viable in the next 2 years, like we weren't going to make it to Legacy of the Void. So, I don't know, do you have any general thoughts about all of that? I know it's kind of been played out on Reddit and Team Liquid and everywhere else, but we didn't get Frank's perspective.
Honestly, I haven't heard much about it, and I think I've been trying to avoid most of the naysayers, like, because I feel like really esports and like a game can only become as strong as the community of members. And if you start feeding into this idea, like if one person starts spreading this little cancer, then it'll just grow and spread quicker. Like to me, everything is awesome. I still very much enjoy the spectating and being at WCG. There was moments where like I was standing behind Hendrilisk, and he was like owning and playing so well, and like there was just moments where I was like getting goosebumps. Like I was watching this game and I'm like, I wish I met esports earlier in my life, because like this is so awesome to watch, and when people used to get this watching other sports. So to me, if that dies, then I could see how esports would die for me, but other than that, I don't understand why it would be, you know, it would die for some other reason. Like there's other games, even if StarCraft somehow does do something stupid to end it, I don't see why that would end my passion and love for esports and want it to continue. And look at the fighting game community. So there's all this beef about how fighting game community, well not beef, but anyways, there's this conversation how fighting game community isn't necessarily esports. So some people want to be purist and say, I like fighting games, not esports. You like esports, not fighting games, sort of thing. And whatever side you're on with that, the point is that there's all these different niches of esports, and like I don't think that there's some sort of endemic that it'll be like all esports related things are going to die. It just doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear that. Yeah, I mean, StarCraft as a game, I think it'll be around forever. There's definitely some changes that need to be made, and HOTS doesn't seem like the coolest thing in the world right now. I'm not as excited as I was 5 months ago, sort of thing. But I think that they got a lot of time before it's released. Blizzard's pretty good with not releasing a game. This sounds stupid saying it, because Diablo was such a outrage and everything, and that was kind of the last game. Miss Pandaria, I guess, was semi-well received, but maybe a lot of people shit on it. I don't know. I don't follow WoW too much. But they usually don't release a game until it's near ready or ready. So they got some time. I'm thinking first quarter 2013 is supposed to be the release. I don't think they'll try and push it out before the end of the year. But hopefully it'll be ready. I think it'll last 2 years. I mean, the spectating seems to be kind of leveling off. There's just... The number one complaint I hear from people is just there's too many tournaments. There's too much.
Many.
You can't follow everything.
I don't know why that's a problem. It'd be like you don't have to have all of it. Like you don't have to be omniscient. You can just follow what you can, follow the stuff that's local to you and the people that matter to you. Really, like pick a player. Say Hendrilisk is on the rise. Pick Hendrilisk and start watching his game. See how far you can go. Scarlett's doing amazing. Follow her for a while. If you like some foreign player, you like Stefano, follow him and see where he goes and watch his tournaments. Why does it matter if you don't watch like the Ritmax thing that we're talking about, or you don't watch OSL, you don't watch GSL? Like I can't watch all of them either, but I'm so glad that they're happening because that means at least somebody locally is enjoying it and other people internationally are enjoying it as well. It really doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I guess just spreading out so many of the viewers and everything, it kind of hurts sponsorships in a way where you don't have the viewer numbers for an MLG because, you know, you're only following certain players and MLG can't have every single player there. Or, you know, you caught DreamHack the weekend before, so you're going to take a break this weekend and not watch MLG. Well, all the sponsors are looking at MLG for the weekend and, oh, they didn't do the best numbers. Well, why am I going to sponsor the smaller tournaments if MLG can't even pull in the big numbers? So I'm going to go to LOL, or I'm going to go to sponsor a guy jumping out of a spaceship.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I hadn't really thought of it that way. But, I mean, at least with what we're trying to do with Esports Canada in Canada, it seems that we're really trying to be a unifying force. So, like, I've heard this what's it called, comparison made, where if you look at the lands in Europe, they're very much coordinated. They don't compete. They work together, and it's so that you can attend multiple events. You don't have to say, well, I need to go into this event or that event. You can say, well, I'm going to this event because they've structured it such that next week or the following week I can go to that event as well. So it's very much a cooperative thing. I've heard in the United States it's a little different. Maybe it's not that they're trying to compete, but they're not trying to unify either. So it seems like competition. They're a little more, I guess it's a little difference between capitalism and communism sort of thing. But in Canada, what we're trying to do is trying to unify things. And I guess if you start with that in mind, then ultimately the end product is going to be some nice, unified, organized thing. So that if there is sponsorship, the sponsorship isn't competing with other events that are happening at the same time. It's not like they're choosing one or the other. They're choosing one that is flowing nicely throughout the entire year. So hopefully our dream comes to fruition, because I'd really like to see that. And I think esports it could be so huge, just not enough people know about it, and there's still a stigma attached to it. Like up until recently, I didn't feel comfortable telling my friends that I'm attending esports events, and I feel stupid saying that now, but like watching Day 9 Daily 100 and hearing his passion for it, I started to think like, yeah, I should totally be proud of being an esports fan, but there's still people who think, you know, it's a kid's thing and you shouldn't be into it. So I think we still have to turn the what did you say? Turn the coin? Tony's quote.
Oh, flipping the coin.
We still have to flip the
Time
coin
to flip the
for the rest
coin.
of the people. Yeah.
We always try to come up with kind of one-liners to go along with our opening show pictures. And Tony's suggestion tonight for the Zergling running under the mothership was time to flip the coin. And it took like 8 minutes of explanation, and we decided to go against it. But thank you, Tony, for that fantastic suggestion.
It's cute. Those investors sure do flip the coin in PVZ, man.
I'm going to play this video just because it's hilarious, and I feel like this is going to be you and I, Frank. You're going to have to watch this on stream because you can't hear it. But
Yeah,
this is going to be you and I in probably 10 years talking about StarCraft.
Oh, nice.
Hell, for all you've done to your bodies. It's still real to me, damn it! I mean, thank you.
Easy, man.
Thank y'all guys.
Frank, I think that's all the time we have for today.
Great. I can't wait to watch that video. It looked pretty funny from the stream.
It's
Even though I had it silent.
widely popular. I used to be a big wrestling fan, and that was just like the epitome of where you didn't want to go as a wrestling fan. And now I watch video games. Thank you guys, and thank you to our guest this evening, Ken R. Silva on Twitter. He is the brand new commissioner of NASL. Thank you to Frank Ricci. You can follow him on Twitter at ESC.Jovian. And thank you to Tony Tran as well. You can follow him on Twitter at ESC Lancelot. No thank you to Nick Songers, who was too busy with real-life things to attend our show this evening. So, stupid monkey for you, Nick. Don't follow him on Twitter at ESC.Songers. I'm guessing he will be back next week. Next week, Frank, I know we have a couple guests that we still have to get through and kind of book schedules with. But I have a guy in the bag, Mike Daniels, who runs a ton of fighting game tournaments out here in the East Coast, and he would love to come on our show and kind of just give us a rundown of what's going on in the fighting game community, what he's doing here in Atlantic Canada. And yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about the fighting game community. I know you are not too well versed in it. I mean, we've played a few of the games.
I'm an old Street Fighter buff, so you know I'll be able to talk about lots of stuff. He actually, on our forums, he linked us to a really good article that talked about kind of the difference between, or how people see the differences between the fighting game community and the esports community. So I'm actually really interested to talk to him and hear his insights.
No, he's an encyclopedia of knowledge for all things fighting games and esports as well. So Mike Daniels, hopefully next week, if not, then very, very soon.
Yeah, and we should have that interview with Azrael. I know we said we'd have it this week, but there was a conflict, a scheduling conflict. But we should have him for next week. It should be a nice short video where we get his insights on Canada and the esports scene. And seems like a really nice guy and eager to help out. So look forward to that as well. Oh, and can I mention?
Nope.
We did a lot of.
Yeah, go ahead.
We did a lot of really good video interviews at WCG. We interviewed a lot of great players, including like the CEO. We had him on our show, Thierry, the CEO of WCG. We had a freelance CBC reporter come. He's actually an esports enthusiast as well, and he totally wanted to help out. So he came. We had Sunil from Collected Media, the guy who did drones, probes, and SCVs. If you guys haven't seen that video, check it out. It's amazing. He came down and offered his production expertise, and so we had like amazing group of people doing interviews and videos. We hope to get those videos up as soon as possible. Really, right now it's off in production. They're working on it, so we should have it up on our YouTube. We'll probably link to it on our forums and maybe in our show next week. But keep an eye out for those. Do join our forums. Do join our website, EsportsCanada.ca. The conversation's already happening on our forums, and I'd love to see more people there and more people sharing conversations. And like let's say you're holding a LAN and you're at like wherever you are in Canada, just go on the forums and mention it and get other people involved so that you can start setting stuff up and get to meet other people who love the sports that you love.
Yeah, definitely take the time to check out our calendar if you're looking for either LANs in your area, online tournaments, anything like that. Please either put it in the calendar or look for it in the calendar. Sticky Flames is going on tonight, I see. I think the bracket just closed, but you can still check out all the action. Z33K.com/StickyFlames. Tonight is the Bronze, Silver, Gold tournament, and they might still let you register, hopefully. You can follow them on Facebook.com/StickyFlames or on Twitter @StickyFlames. Frank, I think that's it. That's episode 9. We have finally made it into the double digits, as long as we're not all brutally killed in some sort of asteroid accident before next week.
Could you imagine if we're both missing and it's just Nick next week?
That would be the worst show ever.
Canceled. Yeah, I think it would be canceled. That's it.
No, we
Twitch
can't
would actually ban
Clutch
us.
told us to never cancel. In other words, he said just be consistent, but I took that as like the golden rule of never miss a show.
All right.
Live from the emergency room. It's episode 10. Thank you, everyone. Our music tonight was provided by a good friend of mine, Poppin' Fresh. He just released a new mix of his. You can check it out on SoundCloud. Just look for Poppin' Fresh. Usually our music is provided by Monster Cat Media, but he just released his new mix, and I can't stop listening to it, so I'm going to play us out to that. Join our website. Follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. Do that stuff. See you next week.
Thanks, guys.
About to go down, it's about to go down, it's